Welcome back. Today we're taking another look at triads. We're calling this triads number 2, and out of my book, called Triads, and you can pick that up on Amazon. The link is in the description, and so here we go. I'm just going to do a quick recap of the first lesson I did. Chords come from scales. Here is a C major scale. And a C major triad will be the first degree, the third degree, and the fifth degree of a C major scale. That will give us a root position C major triad. 1, 3, and 5. Or in other words, take a note, skip a note, take a note, skip a note, take a note. This is tertian harmony. We're building chords in thirds. C, E, G. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Okay. So a chord is played, all the notes are played together. That's what makes a chord. And when we separate the chord into its component single notes, we have an arpeggio. Okay, moving along. When we take the notes of a C major triad in root position, we call it root position because the naming note or root is in the bottom voice. We take the root and put it up an octave. So now we've got the root up here, right? At the top rather than at the bottom. And we call that a first inversion. Root position, first inversion. We do the same thing again, move the lowest note, the E, to the top. We have second inversion. And we do that one more time, move this G to the top. And we have not a third inversion, but a root position again, an octave higher, right? So root position, first inversion, second inversion, back to root position. All right. Now, when we look at the guitar specifically, triads work on the guitar most effectively at this stage in string sets. So here we have string set number 1, which will be the first string, second string, and third string. That's our set. We're going to pretend we've just got a 3-stringed instrument. Now we're going to take the C major triads up the fretboard, starting with a second inversion. In other words, the G is in the lowest voice. You can see how all of these relate to this big C major form, right? So we're just taking the top part of that. Bottom note goes to the top. Bottom note goes to the top. And bottom note goes to the top. So I just played those inversions. Let's go. And so this would be the second inversion, as is indicated here, and then moving to the root position, moving to a first inversion, and moving to the second inversion, again an octave higher. Okay, now let's move to the second string set and do the same thing. We start with the first inversion, then we move to a second inversion, then a root position, and then a first inversion. Okay, now let's just take those 2 string sets, and I just want to emphasize that you can move between the string sets. All right, that's where we're going. All right, this is the way to learn chords. This is the way the fretboard will open up to you, and this is not only about chords, it's about single note line soloing. It's about everything, the foundations of the instrument. Okay, and when I say practical or functional theory, it means practical. You put it right down on the fretboard right now. Okay, and now we're moving to the third string set. Going through this same process. And in this book, this is all laid out very, very clearly. Where am I? Okay, so that's string set number 3. We start with the root position, and then first inversion, second inversion, a repeat of the root position. Back down we go, and okay, and of course we can move now between each of the string sets, right? And now I just introduce the bottom string set, and so here on the bottom string set, it gets a little dark down here, and this is and the same thing will hold true. You can start to move through all 4 string sets. So that's the way to organize your fretboard regarding triads and how to learn them. Learn them in string sets, and now we're going to move one step further. We're going to take the 4 chord in the key of C. So here we have, we're starting the notes of this chord on the 4th degree of the scale of C. That's why it's called a 4 chord, right? So we start on an F, and we take a note, skip a note, take a note, skip a note, take a note, tertian harmony again. F, A, and C is the chord. F, A, and C. You'll see that the chord of F and the chord of C both have the root in common of the key. In this case, that root is on the top. Okay. Now, if we invert the F chord, we go through the same process, and you'll see that the same chord voicings will repeat themselves as well. F, A, C, A, C, F, C, F, A, F, A, C. That's just one example. All right, so that's the inversions of an F chord, just in through from a lower octave to the higher octave. And now we go through the same process with the F chord. And then to the next string set. So there's 2 string sets. What we're going to do at this point is go to the 3rd string set, and then to the 4th string set, 4, 5, 6. So we'll assume that you can go through that. And this is where I want to get to in this lesson. So now we have a C chord on the top string set to an F chord, A, C, and F, and to C. And then the same deal here, C, F, and C, and C, F, and C, and C, F, C, and C, and C, F, C. Okay, good. And then we do the same thing on string set 2. Now, and then we would do the same process through string set, of course, string set 3, right, C, up and down the fretboard, and then you can start to cross over from one chord up and down the fretboard. Okay. Remember at the top I said chords come from scales. Underneath these chords, wherever they are, you should be able to reference your scale. Right, and you should always know where the chords, the triads sit on top of the scales, because as we said, the chords, the triads come from the scales. So reference those scales. Make sure you're not just playing pictures and shapes. You understand where these are coming from. They're coming out of scales. Okay. So when you get on a program of triads like this, it should be very similar to your program of scale playing. If you're going to play at all, you're going to have some kind of practice regimen for your scales. You're going to have some kind of practice regimen for your rhythm chords. You're going to spend as much time on triads as you do on scale practice. And so this will give you an organized way to systematically, progressively move through learning your triads. And at some point you have to do that in all keys. But this book just focuses on I think 2 keys. These same voicings will be present in every key you play in. So get them under your fingers and work them out. And remember that. And when you invert a chord, all you're doing is taking the bottom note and putting it to the top. Okay, thanks a lot. See you real soon.